Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Group Three's Business Analysis and Strategic Recommendations for Fossil Group, Inc. Fossil is an American company founded in 1984 and headquartered in Richardson, Texas. According to their mission and vision statements, they are dedicated to their clients' successes by providing innovative solutions, designing and safely constructing the highest quality facilities on schedule with integrity, leadership, and skill. They fall under the industry code and classification for NAIC as 448310, which is classified as jewelry stores. Fossil is a corporation, which is an appropriate business form here since the organization deals with national and international businesses on a large scale. Some of the business and societal problems that Fossil faces is similar to that of other retailers in the wake of COVID-19, including monitoring economic recoveries in the global markets. Fossil has limited manufacturing and sourcing and must find additional ways to procure manufacturing in a responsible manner. Fossil also faces fierce competition, and a lack of innovation leaves the organization susceptible to substitution. Their target markets include middle and upper income consumers between the ages of 16 and 40. Fossil's strengths include successful M&As like Michelle Watches in 2004 and Misfit in 2015. Next is their utilization of analytics to drive product development. Fossil's team have created algorithms to collect customer feedback, which allows them to create products faster, cheaper, with increased revenue. Next is their diverse portfolio. Fossil manufactures products under their fully owned brands, while some products are produced using license agreements, such as Tory Burch, Michael Kors, and Armani Exchange. And lastly, from 2016 to 2021, Fossil has maintained a large unlevered free cash flow. This allows the company to explore new business opportunities and initiatives. Moving on to weaknesses, the first is direct-to-customer digital channels. As COVID-19 has shifted the typical retail experience, Fossil must adapt to meet customer expectations to survive. Next is brand and product focus. Fossil should conduct research to understand what their customers want from their products, monitor emerging trends, and consumer behaviors. Moving on to opportunities, the first is expansion into new global markets. Prior to COVID-19, Fossil saw potential in entering the Indian and Chinese markets. However, they should continue to monitor India and China's economic recoveries before choosing to re-enter those markets. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Consumers are becoming more mindful of sustainability and the brands that they support. Fossil should develop a plan to target a demographic eager to use their buying power for the good of the environment. And lastly is differentiation. Fossil lacks the differentiation that sets them apart from their competitors. And lastly, threats. First is the limited component sourcing. Fossil currently sources their products from limited sources primarily in China, India, and Cambodia. Supply interruptions or expensive tariffs could delay manufacturing, product distribution, and inflate the cost of supplies and shipping. Next is fierce competition. Fossil has many competitors within several segments of their business. Fossil's success depends on its ability to anticipate buyer behavior, develop differentiation, and meet the needs of its customers. And lastly, lack of innovation. Fossil needs to continue to innovate and develop new products that their customers want. Fossil's competitive advantages include strong distribution channels, utilizing department stores as well as a mix of specialty retail and watch and jewelry stores. Next is the opportunity to revise their real estate portfolio over the next 3 years, converting physical locations into a more robust e-commerce presence. Next is utilization of data to drive product development, innovation, and product launch strategies. And lastly is Fossil's partnerships with several popular brands to capture market share. This allows Fossil to profit off their partnership and attract new customers while providing innovative designs for their existing customer base. Fossil's smartwatch competitors include Apple, Samsung, Garmin, and Fitbit, while their leather goods and jewelry competitors include Coach, Francesca's, and Soko. Fossil's competitive rivalry is high as they compete with large brands like Apple, Samsung, Fitbit, and Garmin. The threat of potential entrants is high. Although the barrier to entry is higher, there is plenty of market share up for grabs. The threat of substitution is high as cheaper alternatives become available and companies develop new technology to establish differentiation. Supplier bargaining is also high because Fossil has limited suppliers that are not dependent on Fossil's business. And buyer bargaining is high as the threat of substitution and lack of innovation may lead customers to abandon brand loyalty.
Fossil's current strategy focuses on delivering exceptional storytelling and innovation to evoke feeling and exhort customers to take action, that is, to buy the product. This in turn helps perpetuate brand. Fossil is driving commercial transformation by utilizing an e-commerce platform which was implemented in 2020. This measure has granted a stronger online presence.
Fossil Group uses a geographically based multi-divisional structure for their company so that they can create different strategies throughout their global presence. The segments are the Americas, Europe, and Asia. After looking further into sales revenue and operating income per segment, we see how this is an appropriate structure for the company. As for leadership, Costa Kartsadis is both the CEO and chairman of the board. His executive team consists of 6 other members, all male. While there are females on the board of directors, we feel Fossil can do better with their leadership diversity, which we'll explore more in depth later. When it comes to employee perks and work-life balance, Fossil is progressive and pro-employee. They actively embrace diversity and inclusion, as well as many women's interest organizations. Corporate employees enjoy a long list of perks while at work, plus a company-wide focus on engagement, which is seen through No Meeting Fridays and peer recognition programs. On top of that, Fossil ranks highly with health and wellness, with offerings such as an on-site gym and paternity leave. Altogether, Fossil's culture and diversity puts them in a great position to attract and retain top talent.
Fossil has an automated material handling equipment which consists of the accuracy, quality, speed, and reputation of their assembled goods and products. Fossil has approximately 10 factories across the globe, in which 96% are their assembly factories. As mentioned earlier, Fossil Inc. Group has 3 global segments: Americas, which has 170 company-owned stores; Middle East and Africa have 137 company-owned stores; the Asian segment, which has 88 company-owned stores. Fossil's quality control programs ensure their products are up to standards by having their product development team inspect sample products before shipping products to their factories to safeguard compliance with their technical design specifications. They also designate the supplier compliance in 2008, which created the Manufacturers Code of Conduct, which their focus is on international labor and human rights standards and to conduct in a socially responsible manner. Misfit was acquired in 2011 and Skeggy in 1989. With these 2 acquisitions, it has allowed Fossil to build the bridge with Google for high-growth wearable technology.
Fossil's target market is style-conscious consumers across a wide age spectrum on a global basis. This typically includes men and women ages 16 to 40. Fossil is a global company and is looking at more promotions in their Asia segment to capitalize on the growing market there. While Fossil offers products such as handbags and jewelry, it's the watches that account for the biggest chunk of their revenue. More specifically, the ever-growing smartwatch industry. This is where Fossil is and should be focusing their marketing and sales efforts. These products are mostly found online, in Fossil retail stores and department stores. One of their biggest online presences is with Amazon, a necessary marketing tool. Still, with profits declining and COVID-19 significantly affecting retail stores, Fossil continues to have room to grow with their e-commerce strategies.
Our first recommendation is to diversify their leadership. Fossil cannot efficiently compete in the global marketplace without understanding microcultural differences, which can be facilitated by culturally versatile leadership team. Fossil boasts on its diverse workforce, which is 65% women and 35% men, where 60% are Black, Indigenous, and other people of color, 38% white, and 2% other. However, its leadership is predominantly male with little to no ethnic divergence. According to Jack Myers, firms with gender-diverse executive suites were 15% more likely to generate above-average profitability compared to those whose executive teams were predominantly white and male. Although the company achieved a previous goal of having 20% female representation in leadership by 2020, we believe by adding women to the board of directors, it can do even better. We recommend that Fossil increase the diversity of its executive leadership team to 20% female representation by 2026. Having female directors is a great addition, but the company could further benefit from female executives who are involved in the daily operations and decision-making. Research shows that companies with gender-diverse board directors or leadership teams perform better across dimensions of corporate social performance. These diverse organizations also have a wider pool of perspectives that help organizations identify and seize new opportunities in the marketplace. To develop a competitive advantage through human capital management, Fossil must lead with a more inclusive leadership team. Presently, diversity in the C-suite is not a component of Fossil Group's culture, but transitioning to a more inclusive team would put the company in a better strategic position. In doing so, Fossil would be able to combine differentiation with low cost and be better equipped to face its highly competitive industry rivals. Our second recommendation for Fossil is to expand their e-commerce. With brick-and-mortar sales in decline due to COVID-19 and the continued overall downward sales pattern since 2014, Fossil is faced with retail store costs plus maintenance bills. Yet, Fossil could significantly reduce its operating costs by closing some of its retail stores, specifically those that bring in the least revenue. The internet has transformed the way we do business, and COVID-19 has accelerated this trend. Considering this, we recommend that Fossil expand its e-commerce efforts and begin cutting back on brick-and-mortar retail stores. Doing so will help reduce operating costs and increase profit margins. We also recommend keeping some of its more profitable locations open to allow face-to-face interaction for those consumers that prefer traditional shopping. Although brick-and-mortar sales declined, Fossil reported a growth in digital channels, with owned e-commerce websites increasing 66% and third-party marketplaces growing 44%. Growth in e-commerce is predicted to experience a 20% post-COVID growth. While Fossil already began to expand their e-commerce and established a couple of tactics, there are more ways Fossil can expand their e-commerce. One of the ways Fossil can expand their e-commerce is to better leverage social media platforms. Fossil should use their brand advantage to promote and propel their e-commerce business. Fossil currently uses Instagram as its main social media platform, and while it engages customers, it has only experienced sporadic growth throughout the years. We suggest that Fossil make its Instagram posts shoppable, meaning the customer should only have to click on the product from the post and be directed immediately to a purchasing platform. By marketing their products, specifically their watches, and making the transaction a smooth and simple process, Fossil is likely to develop more web traffic. With today's use of social media, Fossil should also recruit the use of product influencers or the use of celebrity endorsements. According to Social Media Week, signing a celebrity endorsement can cause the value of stocks to rise and increase sales by about 4%. People are more likely to trust an endorsement from a public figure, and there is a sense of trust that exists amongst customers towards celebrities. We also recommend Fossil buy into content personalization. 72% of customers say they now only engage with marketing messages that are personalized and tailored to their interests. Fossil should consider website personalization, which should show products that a customer wants by having data such as previous interactions of the visitor on the site, demographic data, time of the visit, and also their declared interests. In a study that was conducted by Segment, it was found that impulse purchases are driven by personalization. Nearly half of shoppers surveyed, which was 49%, have purchased a product they did not initially tend to buy after receiving personalized recommendation from that brand. A personalized experience will lead to happy, loyal customers. Lastly, we recommend for Fossil to incorporate user-generated content. User-generated content is any text, videos, images, or reviews that consumers create rather than brand making it. Brands will often use this review as a part of their marketing strategy to bring in other customers. Research has shown that customers are more likely to make a purchase when they are influenced by real-world recommendation. More than 86% of companies today use user-generated content as a part of their marketing strategy. And when users create and share content on social media channels, they get 28% higher engagement compared to standard company posts. When making decisions, users will usually look at the satisfaction of the customers. It is said 63% of social media users consider consumer ratings their primary information source. By using user-generated content to their advantage, Fossil will be able to better build trust of their customers, and it will also help them feel included and be a part of social conversations, further promoting their brand and increasing their revenues.